Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
You're a really dull class.
We're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which has a beautiful ring.
Biden crime family.
Why, you're getting nervous, man.
How dare you?
And Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys.
You're wrong.
Puerto Rico. I will never apologize for standing up for an LBT. I intend to resign as party leader. LGBTQ2 plus kids' rights.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
As prime minister. The level of admiration I actually have for China.
Oh, son of a...
But he called her a third-rate politician. He said there are communists involved and you guys might like that.
Good morning. Sunday morning.
Shut up, silly woman. America will never be a socialist country.
Oh, I'm in trouble.
America was founded on liberty and independence and not government coercion, domination, and control.
To collapse the liberal international order. He is the smartest man I know. You know the thing.
It's the Donald! Oh my God!
No, but it's not about, I know.
Everybody's always blaming me for everything.
Called the wrap-up smear.
It's estimated that 200 million people have died. Probably by the time I finish this talk.
Please clap.
Welcome. Hayden, do I hear you clapping?
I am clapping.
All right, good.
I am clapping.
Just checking. All right, absolute pleasure to have everyone here. Jake, start off with 5 gifties. Jake likes to get things started early, and I appreciate that. You know, before the stream's even started, and you got 5 gifties just sitting there, giving you a little wink, a little.
Now, how about a smooch, huh?
Thank you, Jake. Always appreciate that. Oops, there's another one.
Last I found a challenge worthy of my talent. All I can say is I sure hope you know what you're doing, boss.
Always appreciate having you, Jake, and always appreciate having ABF. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Woke up kind of in an interesting predicament this morning. My dog was acting weird. Gave her a treat like I do every morning, and then I look over and there was a bird completely massacred on my rug, and I had to clean that up. So yeah, that was fun.
She had a great time, and then she knew that she messed up.
She knew she had too much fun.
Feathers all over the place, or relatively? Is that what you saw first? Was feathers, or
feathers mixed with guts? Yes.
Oh, okay. That's when the horror music started playing. Excellent. Well, I'm glad you're having a good day, ABF. Hey, how's your day going?
My day's been good. I just been working, hanging out on YouTube whenever I could jump into chats today. You know, the usual stuff. But excited to be here tonight. We got some fun stuff to talk about, no doubt.
It's nice having chat to get you through the day, isn't it? Like your friends just in your pocket. Love it. Speaking of friends in my pocket, Magnum Norris, I noticed you are no longer on the far left, like 5% of your screen. You're looking good. We can actually see you, Magnum.
And now you can see more shit behind me. I'm good. Yeah, I started off the day by sneaking into ABS house and biting the head off of a bird.
I knew
it. Yeah, like Alice Cooper. So yeah, it was really good breakfast. But yeah, I had a great day today so far. It was very productive. But yeah, let's get this rolling.
Wait, did the potato get added to the name? Has the potato in the name been there the whole time, or did the potato just recently get added?
I don't know, but now it's like sort of redundant. It says potato, if you know.
It's like SMH my head.
I think it's new. I don't remember seeing the potato emoji. And as somebody who watches VTubers, I notice emojis in names.
It's evolving.
Yeah, it kind of bugs me that you don't have like Hayden75 _ like EN or one of the various, or like Ian or whatever. Yeah, I'm just saying.
I never meant to be a VTuber. It happened by accident.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying though. If you ever did choose to go full VTuber, you have to add it to your name.
Hey, at least you don't have to clean up your room before I stream. You know.
If I had an Oshi mark, it would be a crown and the American flag.
VTubers do not leave their pajamas. All right. ABF, I thought we'd start off
pajamas.
To be fair, streamers also tend not to get out of their pajamas.
Fair.
ABF, I got a video there in private chat for us to enjoy.
Okay.
Pete Hegseth had 36 seconds of words to say for us, and man, am I glad he is the one in charge of the military rather than what woke ass Lloyd Austin secretly going off to get surgeries. And who knows? We don't have anyone running the military. Don't ask questions, guys. Well, now we have Pete Hegseth, and he has some ideas for how we should run the military. Let's hear him. Maybe you guys will agree with him.
We are leaving wokeness and weakness behind. No more pronouns, no more climate change obsession, no more emergency vaccine mandates, no more dudes in dresses.
Hell yeah.
We're done with that shit.
Let's fucking go. Only thing he needs to do right there is pull out a glass of scotch and take a sip.
What he does
yes,
that.
I'm an
We're
alcoholic.
focused on lethality, meritocracy, accountability, standards, and readiness. We are
Yes.
leaving.
All right, that's it. Anyone have any issues with that?
That's all I've wanted. That's all I've ever wanted to hear for the past several years. Even before Trump took office.
I'm crying with tears of joy right now. So that's my only issue.
I mean, you wonder why the recruitment rate is way up.
That's what I was going to mention. Yeah, it's almost like people actually feel like this country is worth fighting for. Not so much under Joe Biden, and definitely not under cackling Kamala. Isaac's sneaking in here. Wait, I don't currently my third monitor is being used for new PC, so I can't see it, but I'm going to go out on a limb.
Yes, you are correct.
You guessed correctly.
The sunglasses. Good job.
I knew it. God, I'm so smart. All right. Any other thoughts before we move on to a topic I'm very excited to be discussing?
Yeah, a lot of my friends, actually, IRL friends, are in various, Army, Marine Corps, Air Force, stuff like that. And during 2020, all of them were looking for a way out. None of them wanted to be in anymore. So,
and even those who weren't, once they did that COVID jab mandate, I assume a lot of that group grew a lot bigger. But then it was like the tiniest percent that actually had balls enough to say no.
I mean, who wants to fight for commie Joe Biden and be fucking putting the meat grinder so he can line his pockets? I mean, it's bullshit.
Hayden, do you want to fight for the rainbow flag?
No, and I can also say that I think a lot of the people trying to get out of the military as of now are the people who joined the military to try to lose their balls in the first place. So, it's a win-win.
Literally, we set up an incentive where people were joining the military to become trans. It used to be to go to college
or go to prison
or skills. Well, I will say, I mean, if I'm going to prison, I am definitely going to think I'm in the wrong body. That's all I'm saying.
If you don't know what body you're in, you shouldn't be fighting. I mean, come on. This is fucking 101.
Yes. Not to mention all the checkups and whatnot. One of the Tesla terrorists, the trans one, the ICE equals KKK one, had to be let out of prison because they didn't have enough medical care in prison for them.
Mm-hmm.
For their trans medical care. We can't even keep them in prison. We sure as hell can't have them on the front freaking lines.
It's almost like transitioning doesn't work as a medical procedure.
You can't say that on YouTube. What a wild thought, Magnum.
You're not allowed to talk about that festering, gaping wound, Magnum. ABF, you look like you have thoughts on the festering, gaping wound.
Well, on that particular situation, I think, I don't know, but I think that the justification was because they were in the middle of their medical, procedure or whatever, and that they needed to finish it. So,
yeah,
not
but all they had to do
I'm just saying how they justified it,
which is committing suicide, right?
No, they had to get hormone therapy first, and then they could try to get the U.S. taxpayers to fund all of it as soon as they were on hormones.
Yeah, and like Disney and a bunch of the mega corpos were doing this as like part of their healthcare plans and stuff. And wait, what did the Nerd Files for 99 cents do for a super sticker?
That's a poop emoji.
Oh, is that India or Pakistan you're referring to?
Thank you. Come again.
It's all out war.
Also, it looks like we got a Bigot army raid.
Oh, Bigot army raid. Thank you for noticing, because if you don't notice, Hypno shames you until you do. So I hope I was not getting shamed. Shout out to the Bigot army. Poop emoji. Do you think do you think it's referring to India or Pakistan? Let me know down in the comments.
Can it be both?
Yeah,
the whole fucking region.
Well, actually, like Indians have this like we have like no and we have yes, but they have a really cool one that's in between where they go like that, where they kind of like wiggle their head, which I honestly think we need to steal. So is the poop emoji India or Pakistan? My answer is
yes.
I'm good. I don't think we need that.
I did it. Bigot army, let me know.
Nah.
You know, like a game is like 6 out of 10. You don't really know how to express it. You just give it a. Yeah, I'm not doing it right. ABS probably doing a little bit better.
I probably just did a racism.
You charmed a couple cobras for sure. Hey, I played Aladdin as a kid. I know how to jump on cobras' heads. All right. Yes, we're all repenting. I'm so sorry for not noticing. And definitely India. We have some memes for that. You got to stay tuned, though. First, though, everyone. Pam Bondi, where are the arrests? Get all the satanic pedophiles. Why aren't they arrested? Well, my answer was, guys, instead of us just complaining on Twitter about Pam Bondi, let's get up off our butts and let's expose this too. We can do it. I know we can. Exclusive citizen who helped FBI take down Satanic 764. That's the group. There's a bunch of weird groups just with like numbers for names. Child exploitation cult reveals vital new intel on how satanic mind control cults are targeting the children of the West for total destruction. Man, Alex Jones knows how to write a headline. Usually goes on for a paragraph or two. So 764. It's this group. ABF, you know how we have that Black Mirror clip and they have a website where you basically pressure people to do bad things on the internet for your enjoyment? Oh,
yeah,
here,
the reverse fart.
If you forgot.
How about for $90, I'll put the fucking mousetrap on my tongue.
So this group literally does that. Except instead of like paying you on a stream, like doing donations, basically they'll like blackmail you or whatever.
Holy shit.
And once I read that, I went, oh no, I need to be careful. The internet is a dangerous place. There's all sorts of weirdos out there. Shout out to the Bigot army. Yeah, literally, and like, and they're also like weird. I want to say satanic commie pedos because that just is what I'm used to saying. It just flows, out the mouth so easily. But they're less commies, and I mean they're a little Antifa, and they're more like nihilists. They would just want to like destroy.
They're
everything.
Marxists. They're cultural Marxist commies.
Well, yeah, Marxist-y, but a lot of them are like they're not. They hate left, right, Democrat. They hate all that. They just want the world to burn, and they're accelerationists and what have you. So, a lot of them have done some very bad stuff, and they all, of course, use their VPNs and they got their worldwide networks and whatnot. But if you just be a citizen journalist, you can get into them and they will talk to you and constantly harass you and do all sorts of scary things. And then they get arrested. Let's see if we have any pictures of them. Yeah, I think I got one coming up. A bunch of methed out femboy losers every single time. And they act all big and tough.
I'm
and like
fucking shocked.
Yeah. But these people are doing some actual harm. There was the kid who killed his parents or dad to then like have the money to then go like assassinate Trump or something like that.
Yep.
That was these people are the ones who got that guy to do this. So like they're having real world effects. They're trying to get Trump assassinated. She exposed them, and then like just days later, a bunch of the head people started getting arrested because of her. And then now I see this stuff on InfoWars. And I'm like, oh, this isn't going to get out. Now I got the Bigot army here. This makes me so happy. Like everybody's talking about it. This is on ABC, Good Morning America. They're talking about it. The FBI is warning about 764, sick online network of predators targeting teens and kids, luring them to horrific sexual and violent acts. Like they literally try to get people that kill themselves on stream. We see a lot of bad things, but this is one of the most disturbing things we're seeing. They already opened 250 plus investigations into it. So we're not getting the Jeffrey Epsteins, but we are getting these sick fucking losers. And then we got more of them talking about it. We got Kash Patel, we got Dan Bongino, more on that in a second. So like finally a bit of movement. Finally. And who actually caused it? Was the FBI? Was it the DOJ? No, citizen journalist.
And that's the thing that a lot of people don't think about, right? Is like, so we constantly say like, why aren't they hunting these people down? Why aren't they finding these PDF files online and stuff like that? Well, the thing is, a lot of these people operate under the radar. They have to do something to be brought into somebody's line of sight before they start being investigated. So if a citizen journalist can get into their groups, see that, and then throw all of that up in front of everybody, then they're able to open investigations and start looking into this stuff. But something has to come across their radar first. I know we all like to say, okay, everything you do is being monitored online, but they're not literally watching everything everyone does. It's going to take an action to get them to look into people's history and stuff like that.
James O'Keefe will be talking about it. His 7 days of silence going into hiding's up tomorrow. We'll be discussing that. Yes. And that's what's going to get the big changes. ABF, what are we thinking?
How many of these satanic cults are there? Because if they're number 764, that like reminds me of the naming scheme of the different planets in Stargate, because there's so many of them, you know, P3X, 584 and whatnot.
There's some sort of meaning behind that number. I heard about this cult before.
Yeah, it's probably like referencing like letters or some stuff. A lot of them have like 3-digit, sort of thing. But if you've heard of like the Order of Nine Angles, those losers are a very similar group as well. All right, so, oh wait, actually, sorry, we got to go back to real quick. Isaac out here with the preaching. Isaac for fire, not to get too preachy, but Christ will crush these demons in the end. Christ is king, and they literally, putting Christ as king in your Twitter bio, you want to just make these like feed these vampires garlic. You put Christ as king in your bio. I'm not even Christian. I mean, I was raised Christian. I'm Christianish.
And we should accelerate their journey to Christ.
Maybe if we burn the demons away, they'll find Jesus.
Everybody moves
straight to the wood chipper. Straight to the wood chipper.
Correct. And yes. Trust God, but tie up your camel. God works through us. Don't sit on your butts waiting for God to solve everything. You are that solution. That God's going to go and send out into the world. All right. Kash Patel getting all up in here. I can encourage everyone to read the story on the Violent 764 network and how the FBI is working with local law enforcement to fight back, blah, 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 all the stuff you'd expect them to say. Good. Always happy to hear it. Those who come after America's children will face justice. We'll be relentless in pursuing them. We hope to have more updates very soon, blah, 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 blah. Nailed it. Did it right. Thank you. Dan Bongino, he reposted this, and it had a few days ago. So this is important after repost. Head back to DC today after attending an international counterterrorism conference. Everyone's like thinks they're like all hitting the books in their office, just putting all the Jeffrey Epstein. A lot that they're traveling around, they're meeting people. There's not enough time in the day, sadly, and they need more people, and we need Congress to fund more people. Bottom line up front, the threats are growing and metastasizing. The FBI has a number of critical missions, but our top priority is mitigating this deadly scourge and making sure there's nowhere to hide. If you choose this path, we will use every tool to hunt you down. And they think they can hide behind the VPNs. You can't do that. Director and I are passionate about defending the vulnerable. Operation Restoring Justice began this week, and the FBI put handcuffs on child sex offenders, which, let me find that. You'll never believe this. a Democrat candidate shaking hands with Bill Clinton got caught in the pedo sting. It's so weird. This guy was a pedo? That's crazy.
Look at those eyes.
No, that's
Jeez.
crazy. I believe he also publicly called for the assassination of President Trump on social media. It's so
And
weird.
it's funny that the guy that groomed him into being a pedo is shaking his hand right there.
I want to point something out though. When it comes to catching these people online, yes, they're using a VPN and making like a Google phone number and all this and that. Like, whenever you report that stuff to the FBI, they never catch them. But if it's like part of a terrorism organization, they actually will throw enough resources into catching them. So, yeah.
And if you can make it go viral on social media.
Absolutely.
And speaking of that, Alex Rosen, this is like the pedo hunter. I believe they're trying to like arrest him or something along those lines. They're trying to like charge him for one of the things he did.
He's way too based.
He is, yes, he is very, very, very based. And it's this is what's going to end it. Not FBI. They're certainly going to do their part, but we have to do our part to fight. Do you guys know who this gentleman is? Shree?
Oh, he's in Congress, right?
Yes. What did he recently do in Congress?
What was it? I forget. He was pushing some bill. Yeah,
He
that's right.
He filed articles of impeachment against Trump. Interesting.
Of course, he's a furry.
All right. Basically, Dan says lots of good stuff. The other thing is cyber threat. This ABF, you might have some thoughts on this. We need your help with the persistent cyber threat. I know it said over and over, but please make sure your technology personnel are keeping critical IT security systems updated. The threat is real, and the damage can be existential for companies without the legal and financial infrastructure to fight back. Do you know about any idiots clicking on links they shouldn't at businesses, ABF?
Yes, I do. And once you let those people in, and if the firewalls and switches and stuff like that are not up to date or really old hardware, they can change the passwords and let themselves in through a side door later, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Bad. And now, what if there were rogue nations, nuclear-powered nations, lots of people who hate us and have literal teams to hack into our critical infrastructure and fun stuff like that? Should we be concerned about cyber attacks, do you think?
Yeah, but don't worry. In the end, we will collude with Microsoft to create a Windows update to get into their systems to destroy their centrifuges. Sorry, that was way too specific.
Yeah. I can't remember what happened yesterday, but I remember Stuxnet.
But remember, just a couple of months ago, we did have our like half of our communication systems go down because one thing went bad in one AT&T data center, and half the country lost cell phone service. That was a thing that happened like last year or the year before. So,
Patriots phones went down. Yeah, AT&T, and then we got Spain. They had their giant power outage recently. I think they may have just probably done that to themselves.
Oh yeah.
All right. So here we go. Magnum, this one's for you. Everyone is like, no, we need our Pan Bondi to arrest all the satanic pedos. All right. So we covered that. Trump's not deporting fast enough. All right. What do you think of this, Magnum? Cinco de Mayo events canceled for fear of ICE raids. People very scared, thinking of going back to Mexico. Thoughts, Magnum? Any thoughts, Magnum Norris?
I mean, I guess I'm not surprised. Yeah.
Fucking scared.
Thank you for that.
I don't have a lot to say about
insight,
that.
Magnum.
I love it.
Anyone else want to say some offensive things?
Or
should I just
self-deport before you get kicked out?
There's an app for that.
Go ahead and self-deport.
Well, now Trump's like, bro, we'll fly you back, and here's $1,000. Wait, yeah, actually, what's your ABF? You got any thoughts on giving $1,000 to get the fuck out?
Yeah, because if they're not draining our system, that's actually profitable for us to pay them to actually leave, just like we did with other federal workers to get them to quit.
It's a much better option than letting them stay here and suck us dry. So
absolutely,
I think it's not the, I think the best policy is just to fucking deport everybody and not pay them at all. But
Sorry, I did the Pakistani. What I meant. All right, apologize.
But I think it helps induce people to do it. At least more of them than would just, they're not going to volunteer to do it if they want to stay. But yeah, it's better than nothing.
Well, I mean, think about this. If they pick up one van full of illegals and go to deport them, how many thousands of dollars does that cost versus offering them $1,000 to just leave themselves?
And now we have to give them lawyers and everything too. And then it's 7 years from now. Yeah.
So how do they get the $1,000? Do they just turn themselves in?
I don't cash app it to you. I don't know.
No, they actually use the app or the webpage to go through the process of self-deporting. You basically are telling them that you're not legal and I need help to go to the right country, and the United States will actually help them.
Yeah, we're trying to, so they're not
funny joke. They're using the immigrations app that the Biden administration had set up, where they were making appointments that went down for a little bit. I hope they're using that exact same app.
Oh, you didn't know about that? It is.
Okay.
They did a whole thing.
I didn't know it was the same.
And they turned the website. Yeah, it's now all about self-deporting. And because that's the thing is, you don't want them like scared to leave. You want them please, red carpet, the fuck out of here, please. So.
Yeah, I can't take claim to this idea. I heard this from Andrew Wilson, but he goes, "We should just write them checks that don't cash."
I do like that. Yes. All right.
Yeah,
Isaac. Shout out. This one's for you. Israel approves full military takeover of Gaza, plans permanent occupation and displacement. Wait, what? Israeli finance minister says all of the worst possible things you could say if you don't want to live through World War III. Trump had his idea that they take over all of Gaza, level it, and turn it into a resort. And we're like, bro, that might not be the best idea. Well, the Israeli finance minister said, yeah, we're going to take it all. This was our plan the whole time. You knew it was coming. Deal with it. I don't like World War III. Panel, you have any thoughts on World War III?
I honestly think that Trump said that because he had inside knowledge of this. But of course they're going to have a plan. You're not going to not have a plan. You always, when you go into work, you make a contingency for everything, right? I'm sure the higher ups were telling them to make all kinds of different scenario battle plans for whatever hits their way.
And then the whole thing is we're going to occupy it and we're going to fully get rid of Hamas. So that's going to be, we need to 100% get rid of them, which you never will. So then they just have endless occupation. Hayden, thoughts?
Yeah, my opinion is the conquering nation rules the area. A two-state solution was never an issue. And I don't frankly give a shit what happens. But if somebody's going in to conquer somebody else, fucking conquer them and get it over with.
Yeah.
Just get it over with, get it done with, because otherwise we deal with this bullshit we've been dealing with. Go in, take them out, do whatever you have to do, but there's not a two-state solution, period.
Kind of like you shoot an animal, or you're hunting an animal and you try to kill it right away. You don't want it to fucking suffer forever. You know what I mean? So they just get it over with.
Yeah.
And the problem though is it's like, okay, well, all their crazies are out of there, but the problem is, where the 2 million people or whatever are going to go? Europe and America and the West. And
but the thing is that and again, I'm not on either side of this conflict, but there was always a place where the people who call themselves Palestinians were able to go into Israeli areas, but anybody else was not able to go into the referred to as Palestinian areas. So I'd say that, if the guys who were allowing the other people to live there and they were like, okay, you stay in your corner, you can come over.
Yeah, obviously one side is far more civilized than the other, and they both suck, and I cannot stand either of them or talking about it.
Neither.
We are done talking about this because we have more World War III to discuss. We're not even talking about how Moscow is getting drone bombed right now, because instead we have lots of funny India and Pakistan memes, compliments of India. Fuck you, we don't like your cat. And then they look the exact insane because they are the exact insane. Pakistan used to be India, goddamn Muslims. took it all over. And then if you want to know what happened, watch Miss Marvel. And then we have Indian prisoners of war being tortured. I don't understand this meme. ABF, could you explain this meme to us?
Well, there's actually been organizations that have spent billions of dollars to try to teach Indians how to use toilets, but they install toilets, and for whatever reason, they rip them out of the wall and throw them in the street and continue shitting there.
So I have not verified this fact, but I overheard a fact on another show where they're saying over half of the open shitting in the world happens in India. Open shitting meaning you go on the streets and you take a dump in public. So.
And that is the literal definition of a shithole. Like, actually, the definition.
Yeah, they're not
a shithole.
They're not joking. It's a fucking fact. I mean,
that's where Trump said shithole countries. That's where it came from.
He meant India.
Hey, we may get some World War III between nuclear powers, but at least we got some good memes in the process, and that's all that really matters. All right.
Countries in Africa don't even have the cameras to record all the shitting in public, so they don't even know.
Oh, God. Any other thoughts on World War III or shitting in public before we move on?
I think I'm good.
I prefer. What do you prefer? More shitting in public or more war?
Like, what are you? Are you a 3-ply per white guy, or you like to get luxurious with like a 5 or a 6 you don't even need, but like just for that chance that it gets through 7 layers? Oh no, okay, we're moving on.
I think in India they just use leaves.
No,
the answer is no. The answer is just no. So
Trump orders into federal funding for dangerous gain of function biological research. That's nice, but the problem is, Magnum, you wanna tell us what the problem might be with that?
Can you read that again? I was
thinking
about something else.
The executive order against gain of function.
Oh yeah, it's kind of so if they're doing it globally, I understand it has to be done. Obviously, they already banned it here. Obama did that, but then they started funding it in China anyway.
And
so if they're
illegally funding things as well.
Yeah, and I don't think he was the only one in on it. Well, how could he be, right? Like, we funded it, right? Like, as a country, right?
Yes.
Our own tax dollars did it.
Yeah, even though it should have been illegal to do so. So when I looked into some of the text, and a lot of it is about like creating whatever committees or whatever to look into it all and like actually research and make sure there isn't any more federal funding going out. So that is good. They're probably not going to get it all.
And what they need to do is they need to investigate any country that's doing it at all, because that's not only the biological warfare is not just an affront to their enemies, it's an affront to the entire world. So you're looking at killing millions of people across the planet. You need to be fucking dealt with if you're doing that type of shit. So
I wonder how much gain of function research was happening without the U.S. funding going out there. I feel like we completely enabled the start of it.
Oh yeah,
I think so.
No, we have all the technology, and
yeah,
I mean, I think the recombinant DNA I think that was mostly out of our research, and I can't remember all the details, but we definitely perfected recombinant DNA.
We sent.
Go ahead. Yeah.
COVID was a joint operation between China and America.
And there's only one reason. There's only one reason that China works with the United States, and it's always for a nefarious reason, because our countries hate each other, no matter what side of whatever it is. The only reason that they work together is if they're not able to do something and we are.
We have the best technology, including biotechnology, in the world, hands down. And China just usurps all of it. They steal all of our tech, and they use it against us. That's what they've been doing. So, but my point is that, without our involvement, it does, it slows things down. But at the same time, it needs to be taken care of across the globe. I don't think any country should be allowed to be doing this shit.
Magnum, I have a counterpoint to that though.
Everyone has AIDS. My grandma and my dog go blue.
Oh, I can't wait. I know where this is going. India made the first dirty bomb using a shitty mathematical formula.
That's good. I like that.
that is really good.
Yeah, when I saw the first part and I was like, wait, something's a little suspicious. And then I noticed, like, in my periphery shit towards the end, I'm like, this is a joke for ABF. I know it. I could just without even reading it, I knew what it was. And thank you. Well done, Big Tito.
There we go. I gave him a thumbs up.
Yes. Jade's is very serious. That's not something to joke about. Jesus.
Yeah, we need to send Fauci to gay bathhouses to determine the cause of it.
Bada Kachara or whatever. We're no longer torturing beagles.
Yeah.
Thank God. That when I read that, my heart sank because the picture they use in the news article, I don't know if it's the actual picture. It looks just like my dog, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
Oh well, yeah. Oh yeah. And that's the funny thing.
I did not go see cats, and you are not my son.
I can't believe you would say something like that. All right.
I'm sorry.
Speaking of, can't believe you would say something like that. My girl, Shallow Hendricks. So, obviously, she is an absolute folk hero. I did my part, donated 10. Like, 50, 34, 25, hundy. She got so many hundies in here. A hundy. When I donated, it was at $666,000.63, and I went, Jace just sent me here to get it off the demon number, and I donated 10. And I'm really glad she made it so you couldn't leave messages because some of the names are edgy enough as it is. All right, so we're obviously we all love her. She's beloved. She did nothing wrong. No one would ever disagree with that ever. What I want to discuss is the supposed Somali autistic child. Funny, I read this story and then I think like a day later I heard about Shiloh. So I actually heard this one first. So when they said autistic Somali boy, I was like, I just read something about that. So what the Minnesota autism scandal tells us about the nation today. So basically, was it 1 in like 30 or something insane amount of Somalis? 1 in 31 is now diagnosed with autism, and then
that's close to all races, though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, actually, yeah, that's all. Now Somali, they're saying 1 in 16.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
All right, so the proportion of Somali children 3 to 4 receiving autism services was 7 times higher than the rate of non-Somali children. In the intervening 16 years, that gap has only grown. And Somalis set up their own clinics under the pretext of providing culturally appropriate care for themselves. But in truth, they're just using the clinics to steal money from the taxpayer. Magnum, I was just watching The Sopranos, and a doctor can't pay him back. They break his kneecaps, and they know that he can't pay him back. That degenerate gambler. So what do? They say, "Hey, we want you to charge or something for services, and then we do a scam, get reimbursed or whatever." Yeah, that is literally what these Somalis are doing. Is straight up Sopranos gangster tactics to steal tons of monies from us. Let's see, one client from one of these groups, Smart Therapy, billed $850,000 for service for a single client, received $438,000 in payments for one person, one client, over $400K. So I see this and me thinks maybe this 5-year-old autistic Somali child, probably not autistic. And apparently there's pictures going around, lots of people saying, that ain't a 5-year-old. No way that is a 5-year-old. Nope. So I can't help but think that is not a 5-year-old autistic Somali child. Thoughts?
I was just thinking that.
The person who gave us the narrative that it was a 5-year-old autistic child was a PDF file that was in a park that is, I think, being arraigned or hitting trial either today or tomorrow in Minnesota, and he was at a park filming children, and he happened to catch this happening right afterward. I'm just,
So I think the least offensive way I can explain this to people, as someone who grew up in Minnesota, is certain cultures do not have certain systems in their societies that we have, and they treat them differently. They don't. Certain cultures do not take the same system and operate the same way. A lot of certain cultures and not I'm not talking about race or anything like that. I'm just saying cultures from certain countries, they see a system like this and they think, oh, it's a money pot. We just get to especially when they see other people manipulating the system to get money in their pockets. That's all they see.
A lot of them are told to come here to get free stuff. I live around a ton of Indians. They are the greediest, selfish people I've ever met, while they have like Escalades in their freaking driveway.
if you think I'm lying about it, go ask them and they will tell you. They're like, oh yeah, for sure. They're not even trying to hide it. Some of them. So
illegals like Latinos are told to come here and get on Snap, which we'll be discussing. Actually, no, I don't think I added, but yeah, USDA is cracking down because a lot of like foreign gangs will like sign people to get signed up for like Snap, or they can do the credit card skimming and stuff like that with Snaps and programs. So that way they're stealing from like poors. But of course, all that,
and before anyone calls me racist, like a lot of people call people racist for no reason any day nowadays, but these people do not get along with other black people either. I mean, they just don't they don't get along with anybody. So it's culture. It's not.
They don't have to assimilate because they got their own little segregated little ghetto, and their leaders. How many like Somali leaders do you think you got in Minnesota?
Well, I mean, Ilhan Omar is the most famous one. They just got busted with, there was like, I don't know, thousands of ballots in a vehicle and nothing happened. They didn't even arrest anybody or charge them. And that's what happens when you have a Democrat-run state that is probably funding that operation.
Yeah, full-blown ballot harvesting and marrying brothers. Badfish 419, member for 7 months. You see us as a brain, an athlete, a basket case, princess, and a criminal. That's the way we saw each other at 7 this morning. We were brainwashed. God, it's such a good movie. I still need to see 16 Candles. Love it. All right. Thank you. Appreciate you. I mean good. I mean good so far. If you want to see me get a little heated, check out Isaac's channel. I was on his stream yesterday. I might have let her. I donated to Shiloh, and then I went, you know what? Today, I'm just going to say all the things I feel. And I got it out. No, I'm good. On Isaac's channel, I got it out, and I'm good. All right. So getting away from the third worlders destroying us on purpose. ABF, I'm going to have a couple of private chats for you. So we've got Jasmine Crockett back to back. And man, I love her so much. She is the best salesman for our side. So Jasmine Crockett argues that Trump is attempting to silence black women. So I don't think it's possible to silence black women.
Like how?
Is that an option?
Fucking miracle.
Yeah, send those people into the movie theaters.
I talk about like my moratorium where like Star Wars, we just need to put black women on a shelf for a decade. We will still be hearing them while they are on the shelf. Don't you worry. All right, ABF.
This is not just about policy disagreement. This is about direct attacks on black futures, black prosperity, and black freedom. This is about right versus wrong, point blank. But here's what they don't understand. We've seen this playbook, and every time they've attempted to silence us, erase us, and hold us down, we've resisted and we've pushed this country closer to the ideals it claims to hold.
Democrats are the party of slavery.
But what they don't realize is that we are seeds and still we rise. I stand here a proud black woman and a proud member of the Congressional Black Caucus, and I refuse to stand by while this administration...
I stand here as a proud white man. Rise up. I'm in the white caucus.
Doesn't the rhetoric seem very similar?
Holy Hilarion, bitch. Jesus.
The one that got me was where she was like, it sounded kind of like self-hating racist, where she was like, we are seeds and we will rise. Like that.
No, weeds. That's what Margaret Sanger called them, I believe.
That's
before Planned Parenthood genocided all the black babies. All right.
The seeds that will never sprout.
Tries to turn back the hands of time. We will resist. We will continue speaking truth to power, and we will keep organizing until everybody is free. This is not
free.
Okay.
You're not free?
What?
You're a congresswoman. What the fuck are you talking about?
And a lawyer who went to an Ivy League school. Yeah.
Dude just murdered somebody and got paid $500,000 for it. Like, how much more free do you need?
All right. Well, you know what? Maybe we just didn't quite understand what the point she was trying to get across. So let's see if she can get it across a little better on this one.
As far as I'm concerned, you randomly kidnapping folk and you throwing them out of the country against their civil rights, against their constitutional rights. And frankly, how would they feel if some other country decided that they were going to just start throwing people randomly in our country? Like that is absolutely insane. So yes, all I got to say is y'all need to get these fools out of here. But
go back. Play it again. All right, no, yeah, keep playing it.
You randomly kidnapping folk and you throwing them out of the country against their civil rights, against their constitutional rights. And frankly, how would they feel if some other country decided that they were going to just start throwing people randomly in our country? Like that is absolutely insane. So yes,
agreed.
All I gotta say is
get this
y'all need to get these fools out of here.
My favorite part is this hair flip also in the middle of it.
Yeah. That's right. She didn't do it. No. Oh, wait, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't make the black girl click noise. Can one of you guys make the black girl click noise? I forget how they do it. Oh, no. Oh, they go or something, right? They do like a bird noise. I can't do it. Sorry. I failed. I used to be able to do it. All right. So imagine if another country sent people into our country. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
All right. So
speaking of which, Korea, please don't send Johnny Somali back to us. You can hold on to him as long as you need.
You can have him.
Never heard of him.
It's worse than it's worse than someone having blinders, because that's usually what's happening when people say things that are stupid. But she'll turn around and defend exactly what she just berated.
Okay, listen, I am not a smart man. I am just a man who just notices things. I would never want to put myself as a head of government. I have no idea how she got to the position where she is speaking on a national stage.
George Soros.
It blows. No. I just mean, like, how did even George Soros not look at her and go, this bitch is fucking retarded? And just be like, no, that's a really bad idea. Because like I said,
AOC is the head of the party now.
That's actually the more qualified candidate. The more retarded they are, the better candidate they are, because she's trying to sow chaos. I mean, she's trying to create racial division in this country, just like every other fucking Soros person.
But I guess the better question is, how are they stupid enough to think that they're smart enough to be?
Yeah,
they don't want them smart, because if you're smart enough, you go independent, you go rogue. They're
I don't
perfectly
mean Soros.
stupid enough to go along with anything they say. Jasmine is stupid enough to go along with anything she's convinced she needs to say.
How is she that dumb, though? How is she dumb enough to think that she belongs at the top?
It's the people at her supporters. She doesn't. Democrats don't respect their supporters, because why would you respect someone that's stupid? Like, that's gonna buy this shit. So they don't respect these people. They're just lying out their teeth, and everyone and the dumbasses just eat it up. It's crazy.
To quote George Carlin, Hayden, half the people in the U.S. or the world for that matter are stupid, and then half of them are even stupider.
Yeah, that's.
Think about how many people voted, and think about how many of those people voted who actually understand politics, even like a little bit. The vast majority of people vote.
62% of my county voted Kamala Harris. Mm-hmm. So every time I walk outside and just drive around in my county, I'm like, 62% of you. What the fuck, dude?
In Minecraft.
And I'm not surprised that they don't even know how to fucking drive, because if you're voting Kamala Harris, you can't even wipe your ass. Probably.
You shouldn't be allowed to operate a vehicle for sure. All right, sorry, real quick, Dragon for 5. Hookers and blow. Titties and beer. Piers Morgan made a fool of himself today. Correct. There's no proof the kid was autistic or 5 years old. Yeah, Piers is one of those guys who's conservative, but he is European conservative. So
he's never been any semblance of conservative, or what we in the United States call the right. Like, he's never been.
Yeah. That whole the whole Alex Jones clip.
That's what I was gonna bring up. Yeah. Jeff up north.
What up,
Jeff?
Jeff?
Membership.
What's up,
Appreciate
Jeff?
you,
How's it going? Jeff is one of the dudes I went to Peru with.
Jeff, you a politics aficionado? I said it right.
Yeah, he is a bit. Yeah.
We might have to do some. Wait, whoa! I've got a bunch of gifties lined up. Drink up.
So Drink Up is the other channel that he has. He does a Friday show.
Oh, Jeff up north, Drink Up. Oh, I get it. And then Big Tebow coming back around to drop another five.
Another five.
Drop another fiver. I literally have to buy new money off of Amazon. I've destroyed all of this to the point where I have to buy more now. Thank you, Chat.
Chair.
I literally could not destroy $100 bills without.
You should try to pay for it with that money.
I like honestly, it looks pretty real to where obviously I know there's gonna be like random hundies, but I fling them everywhere, and so sometimes they end up in random spots to where all of a sudden I see them. I mean, I know it's fake, but when you see that, like for that first like half a second, your brain's like $100 bill.
Take it to the corner store like George Floyd.
Yeah, nothing will go wrong there at all.
All right, and then actually we got a clip for all of you wonderful people from former Vice President Joe Biden.
I want to thank you all. I really mean it from the bottom. I want to thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And also
Kamala forever.
I'm never getting rid of that clip ever. All right. Get rid of this bimbo.
Like
all right. So,
really? Forever?
Politics. Correct, Jeff. So we just highlighted like the new stars of the Democrat Party. So we're talking 2028. They have no idea what they're going to do. I think it's going to be Michelle Obama at this point. Of course, the random governors you've never, ever heard of from Democrat states always want to throw their hat into the ring. You're like, who is this? Well, JB Pritzker.
Oh my God.
Dude, this is like, I think this show is like meant for me because I left Minnesota and I moved and worked in Illinois, and this fucker.
Oh, God, no.
This fucker.
Which I believe had a Republican governor until Pritzker beat him. So 2028, obviously we're all going to have a good laugh about, a bunch of fat jokes and what have you. So he seems to be angling, doing all his media stuff. Good chance he's going to be an eyeball in 2028. The same way he eyeballs the Golden Corral buffet. Democrat Governor JB Pritzker mocked from A4 Star Wars tweet, JB the Hutt, Obi-Wan Kenobi. What were you saying, Hayden?
This picture, I saw it the other day. I almost threw up. I was so I'm so disconnected from Star Wars at this point. But I also looked at them and I went, wait a minute. Who is he supposed to be dressed as? Because at first you think like Obi-Wan, but Obi-Wan and Leia weren't around together. Like Obi-Wan's too old at that point. Was he supposed to be Luke in Jedi robes? And then his wife was his sister?
Is that his wife?
Yes, it was. Have you seen his cousin though?
Oh God.
Is he fatter?
Okay, so you don't know about the Pritzkers then. The Pritzkers are some big open globalists. They got their money from owning Hyatt Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what's happening right now?
Yeah, you said globalists, and ABF asked, "Are they bigger?" You said they're. I thought you were going to say globes.
Big as a fucking globe. No, this is actually the Jedi he was dressed as from the Acolyte. All right, sorry. That's why I was distracted. All right, so have we hit 100 yet? Oh wait, no, that was the 300. Oh, that one was the two. Okay, I'm not sure if we've hit it yet though. But Dragon got his $2 closer. Darth Crisco, yes. Pritzker, Grobalis. The Leia looks like the chick from Dodgeball.
I like the one someone said by the cholesterolians.
Yes, there we go. Yeah, well, there's good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. The good is the mid cholesterolians. All right, I can't keep up with them. Yes, so you can't help but think the reason he did that is because he's looking towards 2028. So let's look at JB Pritzker.
Yeah.
All right.
So who's ever sorry
here-
to cut you off, but who's ever been this fat and gotten the presidency? How long ago was it? A couple hundred years? Like, was it Taft?
Yeah, that was my thought. Whoever had the mustache. All right, so
Go ahead.
this is JB Pritzker, and then this is JB Pritzker dressed as a woman. Wait. No. Oh, wait, no, this is Jennifer Pritzker.
Is that a trans?
Funny you should ask. The billionaire family pushing synthetic sex identities. This writer doesn't like calling them like trans and non-binary.
Bingo.
He calls them synthetic sex identities.
Who's the writer?
Correct. Jennifer Bigot. I don't know this, and this was from 2022. And yeah, it is a big part of pushing all the trans crap, and they're billionaires, and they market Jennifer Pritzker as the first billionaire transgender.
Yep, called it.
I don't like
You
it.
can always tell.
So I don't know about you, but I'd be perfectly fine with Pritzker 2028. I think JD Vance got a pretty good chance against Pritzker. All right.
Yeah, it's
so,
not looking good for them, man. It's just not looking good.
And some who are like, hey, maybe we shouldn't totally self-destruct are like, hey guys, let's maybe come a little more towards the middle, such as John Fetterman. And yeah, they are literally trying to remove him. They are about to primary his ass.
It's because
which
he went in as a total lefty, and then he kind of came towards the middle a bit.
Isn't it funny how it happened right after he had a coma? Like,
I was gonna say,
After they fixed his brain too. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude has
like it started to click all of a sudden.
stroke. Dude has a
Yes.
stroke. They elect him because he goes along with whatever they say. He gets into office and he goes, wait a minute.
This is fucked
I
up.
think you guys all have mental problems. Meanwhile, the dude can't hear anything and can't speak properly. He's calling out the Democrats for having mental problems with some of the stuff that they're pushing out. And now he let's be clear. He was never a centrist. And now he just looks like one because they've gone way too far. As is the case most of the time.
And that's what we want. I do not want any moderation. I want them to go as far left as possible. I want them to destroy themselves and never be able to come back. Because I am still kind of worried about these midterms. Because
Me too.
Yeah,
we have plenty of reason to worry. So we want them as weak as possible. Let's see.
They took away a lot of their money, but I still think that they're going to push as hard as they can.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and they are going to steal in all the places they can get away with it.
Yeah, the election, or was it election in Wisconsin did not go too well, and that kind of sucks. So
Yes, I'm definitely gonna be voting in some midterms, but thankfully the Democrats are doing everything they can to make normal people hate them. Jamal Whitehead, a Biden-appointed judge, has ordered the Trump administration to admit 12,000 refugees into the country. I live around refugees. Patriot actually lives right next to refugees. Some Burmese. And we pay them to have nice houses and cars and stuff, and then they don't work. So they get drunk all day and all night, and then they shoot 100 rounds at each other.
So is this new, or why have I never heard this before? Where judges, these weak ass little judges, are like telling the president what to do. Like you have to let all these people in. When has that happened in the past? Has it happened in the past?
There
crazy.
was a judge that tried to block Abraham Lincoln from doing something, and Abraham Lincoln said, "Fuck you, I'm the president."
Yeah,
like that.
That's the answer.
That's usually how that works.
You're the
yeah. What is it? Now let's see you enforce it. Something like that. And
it was that was the line. It was okay if you can enforce it.
Yeah, just stop me in the U.S. military.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we have F-16s.
This stuff is ridiculous.
And they're going to call him a tyrant, you know.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, yes, the president does have limited power in certain areas, but one of his specified power areas is the border of our freaking country.
Yeah,
he's
like
the one that's able to control the border policy. You don't get to say anything.
One of the
National
few things
security.
we have a federal government for.
Yep.
Also, I'm not sure if I pointed out quite enough. 2 from Drug Miles, Piers Morgan being ratioed on YouTube. Yeah, turns out we like freedom of speech, and we don't like Europeans. All right, so James O'Keefe is coming out of hiding. Will he see his shadow? Will we get another 6 weeks of winter? It all starts this Wednesday. So he went into hiding because he's got such big news. And this is his little promo for what's dropping tomorrow. First, we see Pfizer. I'm not sure what's going on with the crying black dude with the gold money thing, but then we get this. And apparently he's got like 2 big stories. I don't know if he's going after Pfizer and Epstein or what. I don't know any of these other people. And then it's also about him it's also the people who forced him out of Project Veritas as well. So I think he's just like going to expose everyone or something. I don't know, but stay tuned. He's fired up about whatever he's on to. All right.
Any predictions?
I don't know. We have Pfizer. He had Epstein. He had his own little stuff going on. I don't know.
I think what he's going to announce, I think it's going to be that they've been working on several very deep investigations, and over the next year, they're going to be letting those out. Right. I think that was like an amalgamation of a bunch of stuff that they've been working on deep undercover. He's probably, because remember, whenever he launched O'Keefe Media Group or OMG, he was like, listen, if you're a top level government official and you want to get some of this stuff out and you know things, I will keep it private. And I think he may have had some people reach out to him, and he's got stuff that he's probably not supposed to have. So his 7 days of silence was probably him getting ready for another, like, because remember, he got raided by the FBI because somebody tipped him off that he had information he wasn't supposed to have. Well, it was the Ashley Biden
diary. The whole showering with dad. Yeah.
Yep. So I think that he was smart. He said, all right, in 7 days. And he tried to make sure that everything's as clean and proper as it could possibly be. But that way, over the next year, he can drop these massive stories that have things to do with high up officials, stuff like that.
Epstein, they had Zorro Ranch and whatnot. He's into cloning and all that stuff, working with Bill Gates. Yeah, he definitely was connected to some biomedical stuff.
1995 lottery winner for the state of Oklahoma was it was paid out. I believe it was $35 million paid out to the Zorro Ranch estate in New Mexico.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Just fun fact.
Any other thoughts before I yell about Real ID?
Yeah. So the way James O'Keefe works is he usually covers a topic that people are like, no, that's not happening, right? Shows someone saying that's literally happening. The goalpost moves, and they will say, okay, that's happening, but X, Y, or Z.
First they say it's edited, and then he has to release the full one, and then they move on to this part. Yeah.
Right. So he releases stuff over an entire week period, just debunking, like, because the argument keeps moving to where you're just like, you look like a complete idiot if you're trying to fight for it in the first place. I love it.
So do you think? So he gets the upper hand, and then he just pins them down. And now they're down, and he's going to break their legs.
Yeah. Like, and now I'm going to skin you alive. Yeah, he literally sits there and thinks what their next move is going to be and drops a video on that. And then just predicts what that move will be and then debunks that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the classic,
so brilliant.
Give them the rope to hang themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So ABF, I want to know real quick, what do you think? Do you think this is an amalgamation of stories, or do you think it's one big connected story?
I bet you it's one story.
Okay.
Because that's typically how he operates. Is usually he gets, like some sort of hot chick to go on a blind date, and then figures out this person works for whatever agency or whatever organization.
This is bigger, though. I feel like this is something bigger than what he usually drops, because he did this whole 7 days of silence thing, and
I think he wants you to think that. I don't know if that's really gonna, you know what I mean? Like, we'll have to wait and see.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So a lot of heads of some of these mega pharmas like Pfizer and stuff, a lot of them actually go in and out of government agencies like FDA or the version of the FDA. So I wouldn't be surprised if they tie this asshole Pfizer exec to some government agency that's fucking around with Epstein or something. It's possible, but I don't know. I have no idea.
All right. Real ID. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, I think I skipped one. Real ID keeps terrorists and frauds off planes, except when we human traffic Latina children to pedophiles with your tax dollars. Then it's fine. If that offends you, we'd love to know why. For the reasons I just said, Nancy Mace, you dumb bitch. And Christy Nome, Real ID will make America safer and more secure. Suck my dick. Starting May 7th, you will need a Real ID to fly. Illegal aliens should not be allowed to fly in the U.S. Fuck you. You've been flying them all around the country and less self-deporting. Fuck all of you globo homos. Any thoughts from the panel?
Just enforce the damn law when it comes to illegal immigration. That's all you need to do. It's obvious. It worked right away when Trump got in office. We don't need Real ID in order to do that, right? And we all know what the end game is with Real ID.
Global digital ID.
I'm not entirely sure. Are these? Well, that's what I'm saying.
Real ID. Real ID is about taking your state ID and turning into a federal ID. And you know what this next step after federal ID is? Global digital ID.
So what are these? Are they working with the globalists? Are they being paid by them under the table? How is it? You know, that's what I want.
So they have aligned goals is the thing. Like they don't have to be working completely in conjunction together whenever they have aligned goals. And their aligned goals are a security state. Being able to track and monitor everything everyone does. The globalists want to do it, and the centralized control people, not left or right, but the people who want centralized control, because historically it has been people on the left and right in the United States that have wanted that. All of them are just working together toward the same goal. All they have to do is come down to one compromise once they all say what it is that they're doing. One little compromise and they all get what they want, and that is a security state.
And if they're on the right and they're doing this, then they're absolutely fake politicians, because that means that they're going against their own ideology.
No, because the right has had that ideology before as well.
Yeah, I guess it's option of it. I don't know.
Comes from the Patriot Act, and basically it's the same group of Republicans like in my state. They're like, we want to protect the kids from porn, so we're going to ban all porn websites for people under 18. And what did that really mean? That the Pornhub would have to get people's IDs. So they would either have to hold all of the IDs, which then all the Indian and Pakistani hackers would hack into, or you do some sort of digital ID. So what does Pornhub do? Because they don't want to deal with that. You can't access it in my state. Then we got if you complain about Israel, we're going to put you in prison for 20 years kind of Republicans. We got the First Amendment doesn't count when we involve Jewish people. Like the exact same people doing that. And then we need to protect the children online. We need child safety stuff. It's all the same people, and it's all about destroying anonymity and giving us that global digital ID.
Yeah, and I think,
so that way they can connect everything else to it.
I think pushing porn into the black market is a bad idea. So, because then it's like free for all, you know what I mean? So, not good.
And probably Republicans doing it too. And it's like, I get the protecting the kids thing, but the protect the kids, do things for the kids very rarely ends up doing things for the kids and ends up affecting us very negatively.
I'd rather have the weed shop is open for the public to see what's going on and they're paying taxes than throw it in the black market. And
I believe it was Jefferson that said those who would give up freedom for an ounce of security deserve neither.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. And that is why you should use your passport to travel, because you can still use your passport. It takes 2 weeks to get in the mail or something like that. And for now, air travelers without Real ID to face extra screening, but will be allowed to fly for now. So we need to make a speak about that
for years.
And and that's, you go through all of the replies. What's the big deal? You guys have had 20 years to get this. What are you complaining about? Global digital ID. That is what I'm complaining. What's the so many people are gonna not know about this and they're gonna be stranded. What idiots. They should just go along and be a sheep like me. It's easier.
Yeah, just a real quick thing on that. For example, if you get a speeding ticket in another state and you go back home and you don't pay that ticket, and now you're part of a federal system, they can just say, oh, we're going to cut off your blah, blah, blah until you pay your ticket in, this other state over here, rather than.
That's slightly more complicated, just to be clear, because you're talking about a state offense versus a federal offense, and they can't exactly cross those lines. But you are correct.
An example of what I'm thinking of.
It is moving toward that direction for sure.
20 years wasn't enough time to get a real ID. Everyone had plenty of time to get one. This means illegals can't fly now, right? Everyone should be happy about that, right? But here's the thing. They're just going to get the illegals are going to get their own real IDs the same way they have their IDs and social security numbers. They're going to get them. It's just going to be us, those who don't want to be slaves to the fucking MAGA bimbos at DHS.
Yeah, my response to that is I have had plenty of time to figure out what it is and how I don't want it.
Yeah. And I hate to break it to anybody that hasn't been to an airport in the past couple of years, but the illegals get treated with preferential treatment whenever they're flying with their little folders and their envelopes and stuff like that, because they get to walk up to a TSA agent. They get to skip the line, walk up to a TSA agent at the front of the line, say that they don't speak English, show them their little portfolio thing, their folder that they have, and they get sent to their own special line and then moved very quickly through security. I've watched it happen.
Yep, and then you have
times over the past
you have the little Mexican woman with all the gang tattoos on her, leading them all, part of the Catholic charity.
And you're paying for it. We're all paying for it.
But I
have literally seen it with my own eyes.
An actual legal ID can't fly despite having an ID, but you can vote without an ID. Yeah, make it make sense. It's tyranny. That's all it is.
It's not gay if it's TSA.
Cavity searches. All right. CNN roasted for interviewing Sinaloa cartel gangster, asking how he felt about Trump labeling him a terrorist. They platformed a cartel member to say, "Oh, poor cartel. I can't believe that Trump designated you a terrorist." Thoughts?
Well, they depend on the cartels to deliver them slaves.
Yes, the human trafficking. And that was my thought. You watch all these gangster stuff. They have cut it down, like 99.5% has been cut or whatever. There are a lot of angry people up above making threats all the way down. There are presumably a lot of very rich and powerful people very unhappy about that flow being cut off. Because for those who didn't follow it, they full-blown were human trafficking children to star in snuff films and fun stuff like that. They give them a piece of paper with a name and a phone number. And that's all they needed. And they would call that person and send them right there. You don't need to know if they're related. You don't need to know anything. But I can't fly with my normal ID.
Erwin, that's not true. Because as soon as they called that phone number, Customs and Border Patrol was directed to ask, "Are you related or do you know this person?" And they said yes every time almost. So yeah, and then they were sent along the way. So that was all the proof they needed. Somebody just to say yes, one party or the other.
How many hundreds of thousands did we lose? Yeah, this is me finding out that Real ID is going to be implemented. This little Asian is.
I showed that on my stream, and I said, "This is Erwin's robot" before the Catgirl skin got added.
Crowder had a clip where he added, he had to let the bodies hit the floor.
Okay, well, if you weren't infuriated enough, it's time for eyes to glaze. We're talking about those gay-ass Europeans. Italy. Children in Catholic kindergarten kneel and pray to Allah, sparking some protest.
What?
So we're having a little field trip, kids. Let's go pray to Mecca at the local mosque while the imam propagandizes you. And then obviously the response from the school is, "Oh, well, like, we just want to promote like inclusion and stuff like that." And the imam was just explaining the 5 pillars of Islam, which is, I assume, rape, pillage, All right, I'm gonna stop there. They're like,
I
well,
can't say anything on this topic. I'll be back in a minute.
I know. Yeah, I know. I want to yell words. This is why I said some words yesterday on Isaac's stream. So basically, we just like had Ramadan and stuff, and like I just wanted, it's so nice that they opened the doors of the mosque to us and welcomed us with respect and friendship and enthusiasm. I want to hope that the parents who gave their consent were not aware of what would happen, said the opposition. Those images make your blood run cold. Correct. So, of course, the real problem is, what if they took the Muslim children into a Catholic church and had them pray? You would be beheaded.
Mm-hmm. And it's written in the Quran to do that. Pretty much. Kill the infidel.
Yes, and they pretend like they're nice little friendly people, and then they take over Minnesota.
I would just sit in the corner and draw pictures of Muhammad instead.
Yeah. Eating a big fat banana.
It sounds really silly. I know, ABF, that you can't draw a picture of someone. I know it sounds ridiculous, but they will murder you.
We draw a picture of him on the toilet.
I can't draw stuff with crayons. This is ridiculous. I'll just eat them instead.
And I believe most popular boy's name in Germany for youngsters, Mohammed. Germany's AfD parties declared definitely right-wing extremists by their spy agency, paving the way for a ban. So essentially, they were already investigating them, but it was it's so weird. Yeah, it was a suspected case that they were right-wing extremists, but they've now upgraded to it's certain that they're right-wing extremists. So this was the news that they were once again looking to ban them, which they've been trying to ban them. And now this is them, the spy agency, making it so you can ban them. And then you'll never believe this. AfD demands new elections after Friedrich Merz loses historic confidence votes. So parliamentary systems are retarded. So you have to do stupid coalitions and you have to team up and collude behind closed doors with all the other parties. And then you guys put your prime minister, but then your prime minister has to pass a confidence vote, which obviously, he's going to pass. Unless he doesn't pass the confidence vote. They have such a slim majority, they actually couldn't manage to get a confidence vote for him. So now the AfD is like, hey, how's about we do a new election? Because guess who the number one party is now? The AfD, which they are trying to ban despite not even being able to form a government. I wonder why they might want to ban them. Seems like some German-style democracy to me. What do you think, ABF?
Go ahead.
I think it's interesting that all of these elections that need to be redone are ones where they don't like the outcome for the left.
Crazy.
Yeah, and it's interesting that there isn't any evidence of what they're claiming at all. So they're like, well, we're right-wing extremists. We got evidence. Okay, where is it? What is it?
Yeah. Romania, yeah, they arrested him and they said you're an evil right-wing Nazi, despite him he used to be one of the big net zero globalists. So yeah, they just fully make it up, and it doesn't matter. We had our own with the Russians hacked the Democrat emails when it was clearly someone not the Russians.
I don't want to hear them say the word democracy ever again. I mean, they don't know what the fuck it is.
Super
corrupt CrowdStrike come out and say, "Oh, totally, bros. This is Russia, bros. Trust me."
Well, Magnum, you got to remember, they don't say democracy; they say our democracy.
Our democracy, not yours.
That's their code word. Yeah.
I get it.
All right. One Labor Party government to scrap compensation scheme for child sex abuse victims. So they have lots of fun Pakistanis, and they do this hilarious thing where they groom the children, and then the police cover it up because they're also working for a bunch of pedos. And so you finally had the useless conservatives try to do a thing where those who were affected by it were able to get some compensation so they could get their lives turned around after the government purposely imported a bunch of third world savages to do unspeakable things to them, like Reverse Fart does to me on the live streams. 1 second. I appreciate the
Hello, for $90, I'll put the fucking mousetrap on my tongue.
What is a reverse fart, by the way? Is that like absorbing air?
Don't ask questions you want answers to. All right.
Okay.
It's
all
a
right,
cornhole.
all right, fair enough.
Cornholing. The prostate exam.
That one never gets old.
I know. It makes me so happy. This one.
Anyway, I started blasting. Bang! Bang!
It doesn't get old. I need some more. I don't have enough. All right. So wait. All right. I'm going to play another clip, but wait, real quick. So basically, they're going to compensate. And so now Keir Starmer, who is the new prime minister, he was a human rights lawyer. And what human rights lawyer means is he helped bring all the third world boat people in to do all the grooming gang stuff and then help cover it all up. And now that he's in charge, he wants to continue covering it up. And they're going to compensate people for the horrible crimes committed against their children by Keir Starmer. And he said, no. And you'll never believe this. They had like some local elections in the UK, and Nigel Farage's Reform UK absolutely butt blasted. The Conservative Party, the Tories, are going to not exist in the UK before long, and the Reform UK is going to fully replace them. It's beautiful.
All right, this is a huge step in the right direction, but I must say the Reform Party is basically center left party anyway. So it's just good, but it ain't great.
European conservatives are conservative, and Nigel Farage has a bigger ego than Donald Trump. Yeah,
they're like if MAGA was gay, then
conservative.
I mean, look at Australia. They're completely backwards from what we know, where they're more what we know of as like right-wing conservative. Their conservative party is called the Liberal Party. And I believe that their like leftist globalist ideology party is called the Conservative Party.
Wait, who? Where?
In Australia.
In Canada? Oh, in Australia. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Australia. It's just like their toilets flush backwards. Their politics are backwards too.
Lots of those countries with parliaments have parties with socialist in the title. Yeah. And they call each other comrade and fun things like that. But no one's listening to me right now, so I could really just say whatever I wanted, and I'm not
red, white, and blue
even
great.
Listening to myself.
It's very
anymore. Thank you, Amy.
I think she's working the fields.
Wait, what happened?
She's tan, so she's working the fields.
I could save her. Like, girl, I got an extra. I like don't even use my living room, girl. Like, I got the space. I could fix her.
She actually has pallid white skin. You would just never know.
I like my lily white.
I do too.
Ladies. I like my fair princesses.
I was always a big fan of the goth girls.
Oh yeah, and gingers. Like gingers are cool as long as they're hot girls, and with an appropriate amount of freckles.
True.
All right, so one last one for the international crew. Correct. Royal Marine detained under terror legislation after questioning core DEI policies. So basically, he said it's bad that we are lowering standards for women in the military.
It is
because this guy doesn't want to go out on the front line and die because there are women in the military. So Royal Marine says he circulated a survey questioning the wisdom of quietly dropping the standards of the elite fighting force to increase its diversity, blah, blah, blah. It was signed by 1,000 Corps members, he claimed. Oh, no, he's making a stir. It's alleged after this document was escalated up the chain of command, it was initially dismissed as Russian misinformation.
What? So 1,000 signatures is Russian disinformation? That's insane.
It's always Russian disinformation.
All of it
because Russian bad. This is bad. Yeah.
They should redo it and have the document say not Russian disinformation on it.
Yes. So smart. And well, since it's Russian disinformation, he was then subjected to a witch hunt that culminated in being detained by terrorism police as he returned from a family holiday because they wanted to interrogate his views. So, yeah, he made a video as well, which I can't imagine they like that. I voiced that concern. Now I'm being treated like a terrorist and a criminal. Explained that other Marines were also threatened with punishment if they did not divulge the identity of the anonymous petitioner. Literal.
So your opinion, which is actually a fact, does not fall in line with our views in our democracy. So,
and when they held him, they said they were holding him there under the Terrorism Act, which is why Real ID can go fuck itself. Pardon the language. And I'm just shaking my head in this instance. And I said, have I committed any acts of terrorism? Am I expected to commit any acts of terrorism? They said, no, we have you here because of your views. Thoughts?
The UK sucks. I just don't care about them. Just, you know what? Everyone turn trans over there, disappear 42% of them, and then continue on life. I just don't care.
No, dude, no, they're literally an election away from taking it back. So maybe let's not like.
I don't care. They put beans on toast. Get them out of here.
I'm an American. I eat food that has dated past World War II rations. Sorry, guys, you're on your own. I hope you take back your country, but if you don't, I'm not going to help you.
I really do love tips. We'll remember you by that. Okay.
I love British people, at least the good ones. But
I'm just saying, the only reason they put Labour in was because their Conservatives absolutely failed them, and now the Tories have been completely replaced as a party. So they actually are actively trying to fix themselves. Canada fully deserves what's happening. We don't need to throw the UK out though, because the next real election they have, which they might end up with snap elections, because Keir Starmer's ratings are absolutely in the toilet. I appreciate the energy, and I have that exact energy with Canada, but I feel like UK might be a little different.
I like I said, I hope they take back their country, but at this point, I'm an American. I'm more concerned with what we're doing and what, unfortunately, we have done to the rest of the world.
200% tariffs until you change football to being called soccer. Thoughts?
Yeah, so it can't be broadcast over here.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. We're putting tariffs on imported movies.
Yeah.
Just saying. Soccer.
I've got opinions about that one, but
wait, if we make it harder to enjoy soccer, that might also make some of the illegals leave as well.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Make it happen. Soccer moratorium. Do it. Oh my God. All right. Any other thoughts before we do some outros?
Yeah, so Canada and UK, I'm rooting for UK a lot more than I am for Canada, because Canada hasn't really done anything for the world compared to UK, in my opinion. UK spread the love throughout the world, and Canada's just fucking useless.
Canada needs to learn its lesson. The UK...
and this country spawned from the UK. This country was, in some ways, produced by the UK. At least,
we fought a war against them and said, "Fuck off, we're doing our own thing."
But we were from the UK, or at least the ones that they rebelled. So
we came to a nation of savages and then allowed them to live. We made the first transgression by allowing the Native Americans to maintain their sovereignty in our country. But,
I don't know. Canada, they still have some guns over there, and they kind of have freedom of speech, but at the same time, there's a bunch of French people there, so that just makes me not care about them all over again.
But all the French people want to leave Canada. Even the French hate Canada, though.
Even the French hate the French.
French hate everybody.
All right, ABF.
They like body odor.
Where can everyone find you tomorrow?
Let's see here. Tomorrow, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I think I'm on Nia Scream. Oh yeah, never mind. I thought it was holy. I forgot what it was. Holy crap! I just had a brain fart. That's what happens when I think about British. Anyways, Trigger Happy tomorrow, and right after we're gonna lead into Late and Gay with the GCA.
Let's go, Hayden. Will you be there for any of that?
I will be there for Late and Gay with the GCA. I might pop into Trigger Happy. Depends on how work is going, because I'm still technically on the clock whenever that show's happening. But
that's called a skull fuck. It's a skull fuck.
Correct response, Jeff. Magnum, anything you'd like to outro us with?
Not much. You'll be seeing me on here again, I'm sure. And over the weekend, I have to work like 24 hours the next couple of days, but over the weekend, I'm just going to be getting my computer the way I like it because it's got a bunch of problems at the moment. Not the computer, but other things. But
as soon as I get out of here, I am ripping my PC and I'm throwing it in the other room.
Bring in Lake Michigan.
Finally,
carefully, in case you need it as a backup, Erwin.
Fine.
Gotcha.
I have to. And then I finally have nice new colorful PC. With
put it outside on your lawn and see how long it takes a Somalian kid to steal it from you.
Yeah, with all the colors on there, it's very diverse, Erwin. Great job.
I'm switching up my living room too, and I actually do have some tables, and I thought about leaving it at the dumpster so all the human trash who come around and go dig through the dumpsters could take it. But then I'm like, I don't want to reward those losers. I hate them so much.
I'll tell you, if you plan on ever streaming games, it really helps to set up a streaming PC and then have.
I know. Yeah, dual PC setup. Yeah, we'll get to it. Or yeah. I know.
I mean, keep it around just for that.
Well, and I will say, I need to put a new CPU cooler on it because mine's not attached to the CPU.
Yeah, it's wobbly on there.
Oh God,
it's not strapped down all the way.
There's dry thermal paste on there. It's not connected to each other. So I've got to put a new cooler on it, and it'll probably go back to working really well for some reason. Absolute pleasure to have everyone here. Appreciate you. Now that's thinking. I actually realized I have 6 because I got my new I have 6 monitors now. I have 2 monitors. I don't even know what to do with.
Bro, you can absolutely set up a dual setup with 6 monitors, 3 monitors each.
Or you could be like Hugh Jackman from Swordfish and have the hacker computer set up.
Yes.
You can watch 6 porn videos at the same time.
I don't have enough wieners or hands for that, Magnum. Appreciate you all. Couldn't do this without you. Let's just do the short one.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time, huh? I don't even know. Hello.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Good, then get the hell out of my life. Who needs you? Beat it. Leave me alone.
I needed to get rid of the human garbage, otherwise known as my best friends.
Come on.
Bonnie, how do you keep getting back in?
Well, bye.
If we're not back by dawn, call the president.
I'm thinking about replacing Sydney Sweeney in this clip with Shiloh Hendricks. Thoughts?